Alright guys, welcome. Today is August 1st, Tuesday, August 1st. The day started about an hour, maybe 2 hours ago. We were with my son Liam. We had to drop him off at my mom's house today. And from Tampa, we are on our way today to Holiday. It's a little bit north of Tampa. We are going to meet Mike. Mike is a seller that we got from our acquisitions team, and he is looking to sell a property at the current moment. He is also willing to do seller finance from last time that we discussed. And within that conversation, he stated that he has 10 more properties that he's looking to sell exactly like this. So Noel and Johan are already on their way. This traffic kind of got me a little late, so I'm actually running 17 minutes behind them. But hopefully they get there on time and make a good appearance for us. So with that said, on our way to Holiday. We'll see what this house has in store for us. He had to kick the tenants out. But he said that he has done a little bit of work to the house already. So all of this has happened within like the last week to 2 weeks. And hopefully we can help this guy out the best possible so that we can work on these other 9 or 10 properties that he has and add all of those to our portfolio, or assign them, or whatever the case is. But normally, if anything that's on seller finance, we're trying to keep. So most likely, if we're able to lock them all up on seller finance, we're gonna show you guys how to go and raise that money and how to do all of that paperwork and legal stuff. That way you guys can see how to go and purchase properties with other people's money, and that it is actually doable, and that it happens every single freaking day on this planet. Somebody's buying a piece of real estate, a piece of property with somebody else's money. If it's a brother, a sister, a friend, somebody that they met on Instagram, a bank, right? Because whenever we use the bank, that's not really our money, right? That's the bank's money. So always we're borrowing people's money to buy real estate. So with that said, we have about 31 minutes according to the GPS to get there. Once we get there, we'll hop back on this thing, and we'll show you guys what we're working with. Hopefully the guy's super cool. He lets us record for a little bit. If he lets us record, we'll go ahead and take you guys out so that you guys can see what's going on. If he doesn't, then hopefully we'll try and grab at least a snippet of the house. And then from there, we're going to go back to the office. I have one more house that I got to go see after this. But from there, then we'll go to the office and we'll see how the numbers and stuff look on this house, and one at a time. So alright guys, we are back in the car. He didn't really want to be on camera, so I did ask him if I can at least record the house. That way you guys can see how these houses first look like when we acquire them, when we purchase them. And in the meantime, Noel and Johan, we're talking to him outside the house. So with that said, Mike, super great guy. Looks like from first impressions, he is 71 and the guy looks like he's in his 50s, so he looks amazing. But these are the type of buyers or sellers that we come across all the time. People that are later in age, that are just getting tired of owning these things and having to come and put the work in, right? Like this guy is selling it for $200 to $250. I say it's going to be the range where we're at. And if this guy was to keep this house, he would have to go and put about $50,000-$60,000 into this house plus have to deal with all of the headaches, right? It's not just the money itself, it's having to deal with the contractors to come, having to deal with the decisions of, okay, what's trending now, right? What kitchen's going on, what bathroom's going on, that's trending, so that I can get this thing rented as quickly as possible. And when you're in your late 70s, everything's up in price, or early 70s in his case. Everything's up in price from when you were used to doing this business, right? Like this remodel back in the days would have probably been maybe 20,000, maybe 30,000. Nowadays is 50, 60,000. And they're just not used to numbers like that. And if they invest that money into it at his age, he's going to take forever to get that money back. So it just makes sense for these guys to sell it. And in some cases, it makes sense for them to finance it to us. In other cases, it makes sense for them to list it on the market. In other cases, it makes sense for them to just go ahead and take cash for it, because maybe a house can't be listed. Like even if you go to the market, all you're going to get is cash buyers anyways. So with that said, guys, we're going to stop at Mac D's. I am starving today and didn't get a chance to eat anything on the way out. And Mac D's is the closest thing everywhere. So from here, we got one more showing that we got to do. This one's going to be for a client of ours. This isn't for us personally. But we're going to record it for you guys to just go ahead and see another property and maybe see what we discuss while we're there. But other than that, from there, we will be going to the office. And from the office, we will be doing all of our numbers and seeing what we're actually going to offer this guy. And then maybe we'll get it on camera to where we call him and we start talking about our offer. So, okay, so I didn't know this. McDonald's breakfast ends at 10:30. So luckily right next to it, there was a Starbucks. And that's where we're going to end up going, get our daily dose of our Starbucks. And then from here, we're going to the house. Okay, Mike. So I have it here, and I don't know if you remember when we originally started talking about the house, I told you we pretty much use a little spreadsheet that we kind of throw numbers all over the place, and it pretty much allows us to see if we're going to cash flow or not. Right. In regards to rehab, we hadn't really discussed rehab just yet. We didn't really know the condition of the property itself. So right now we have estimated about $50,000 into rehab just to get it up and ready. Okay.
It's a bit much, but okay.
You think it's a bit too much?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
When you get right down to it, it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, but if we're going to try and get close to $2,300, $2,400, maybe $2,500 in rent, it definitely needs to be able to look like HGTV, like movie type houses, you know.
You're gonna go after that kind of rent, sure.
Yeah, so I mean, we would have to go in there, completely replace kitchens, completely redo the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you know kind of what it is. So with that said, in regards to purchase price, now that we kind of both seen the house, Gary, Mike, I'm sorry, where do you think we need to be at in regards to purchase price, so we can kind of go plugging in the numbers from there?
Well, you tell me what you're willing to, the numbers will support. I don't know how you come across your numbers, so.
Okay,
you
and
have to do your percentage and see what will work, and then it'll see if then offer that and see if I'll work with it.
I gotcha. Okay, Mike. So just to kind of get started, and if we were at a cash, we were kind of discussing here at the office. So which route would you want us to start first? Do you want us to go the cash route, or do you prefer doing something in the world of terms, to where you would be holding a note?
I'll be honest with you. This house is in my IRA, so it's not a tax consequence for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I can make a windfall profit and then only have to take it out as I need, as is warranted.
Okay, I see.
So for me, a cash is the best.
Okay, so I think if we were to go around the world of cash, then we would kind of backtrack the numbers on what it would look like. If we go cash, we normally don't do a buy and hold. We usually just go ahead, get in there, get it ready to put it back on the market, and have a person hopefully comes and lives there a couple years. So in that route, we think that we would potentially be able to sell it in the same condition if we were to come in there and rehab brand new floors, kitchens, all the stuff. We think we would be around 275, 280 is what we could potentially sell it for. So if we backtrack that and still put about the same $50,000 in there and take our hard money costs and everything that has to do with the sale of a process, I think we would need to be around the 150 mark if it was cash.
Yeah, that's way too low.
Yeah, so I think the best route might be to go over into terms. And there potentially we would still be able to offer you closer to the 200s, maybe about 180. It's kind of where our starting point could be there, and seeing what the calculator tells us on if we could potentially cash flow or not.
It would at 180 probably not. I mean, I could probably get closer to 200 just as is cash rather than terms.
Ideally, we would like to purchase it on terms if the 150 is too low for you, which I understand. But then again, on terms is where I can kind of mess with my calculator and see what you would be making on a monthly basis.
Right.
So if we were to go down the terms path, where do you think you would be at in regards to purchase price? I'm just going to ask you purchase price, down payment, and interest rate, so I can kind of get the ball rolling on where we would be at in cash flow.
Well, I want it to work for you guys too.
I'm trying to make it work for you, man. If it works for you, I'm happy. I mean,
if you're going that way, shoot for at least 5 to 6%.
Okay.
Because I get 4.9 on my money market right now.
Okay, and where would our purchase price be on that interest rate? So let's kind of start with the purchase price real quick, and interest rate, we'll get right to it. So purchase price, we're at
Before you sold the house, it was at 275, which is, what's the highest you would go at purchase price on terms?
It really depends. We would definitely not be able to go rehab plus ARV. So I think in regards, that was kind of before we had seen the house. So I don't think we would be anywhere past that, if I'm being honest. Like, that would probably be our absolute highest. And then on a 5-year range, originally when we were discussing the 275, we were at a 10-year balloon.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't do a 10-year balloon. I might not be wrong.
Yeah, so we were discussing 10-year balloon just because the house needs to be able to appreciate over the time. And it's really
Right.
the best way that I can be responsible for all the loans that we take over, so that things like the bubble don't happen to us.
Right.
So if a 5-year balloon and we think we can sell it at 275 and we put 50 into it, it might appreciate a couple bucks over the next 5 years, maybe a couple $1,000. If the market trends up, if it goes down, then we would have to refi at whatever price that is and just cash you out regardless.
Yeah, why don't you just put the best deal that you can put together either way? Or your limits, or at least what your limits are at, and see if it's workable.
Okay, let me see if I can at least get the starting point for us ready, and then I'll send it over to you and we'll get back on the phone, okay?
Thanks, yeah.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Jay.
I just realized that right now. Hola. Let me, I can use the 36. It's the same, and the 15 drawer base goes down to a 12.
total, Yachty?
Huh?
What was the total?
2,264 or something.
And that was for St. Joseph, baby. Yeah,
We'll see how many cabinets later. Probably like 12, 13, 14. I gotta figure out what this one does it look anything close like your car? And change the windows, and then after the windows, come back and texture the whole thing. Thought it was about 950 square feet. I figured I'd order a little more. And then the only other thing that I haven't seen that's new is the plumbing and stuff back here. And that's it. Okay, so ya tenemos la sajida. What did this guy do? Why didn't he just leave it here? Okay, so we have the water there, and then we're gonna cut it all the way through, bringing it over here. And then we already have the electricity right here. That's awesome. I think he said he didn't run the wires through, but look at that. That looks awesome. Okay, so we just found out our electrician did this shitty ass job. Look how the wire kind of goes through all the outside of the house. So we're gonna give him a call and have him change all of this bullshit and do the freaking job right, like he should. It should go through the soffit, the white piece up there, and we'll show you guys what that looks like updated. Alright guys, so it is 8 p.m. 7:44 if you guys want me to be exact and honest with you guys. And we're just now leaving the office. So we went from Hooters, like you guys saw, or Wing House, I'm sorry, celebrating a little closing that we had. Went from Wing House, dropped off the boys at the office. So tomorrow we'll be working from home. We already have a couple things. We have a Zoom at 10 a.m. Where we're going to be discussing things about wholesaling and assignments and how to make sure you get paid. And then we're going to have a couple calls with a couple sellers. So in the meantime, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed watching today. You guys didn't get to see the seller or anything like that. We did record the conversation with the seller. It did not go as good as we hoped. He's kind of requesting a couple more things now. And now it looks like he wants more of a cash offer instead of a seller finance. And it is looking like he's requesting a little more money than we can actually offer for the house. So it's now just a matter of either negotiating and coming to an agreement, or figuring out if he does want to go that creative route, and if we can come to an agreement in either way. So with that said, we'll keep recording and showing you guys the process of what that looks like and what it turns into. He did mention today again that he has a couple other properties that he is looking to sell. He has 16 total, but I think he's only looking to sell about 9 or 10. He has mentioned 10 a couple times. So with that said, again, thank you guys for watching another video, and come back for the next one, and hopefully we keep teaching you guys some stuff.
Present that to our 500 people. It'd be physically impossible for us to do that. So you want seller finance multifamily, stick to the smaller unit sizes, like 50 to maybe 250, probably at the larger side, and then stick to B from